that makes people really listen is fear.
You are fucking insane.
You got my mind all fucked up.
I've always wondered how you taste. Take my hand.
What is going on, Lamont Tyson movie and TV breakdown fans? I am back to review the mid-season trailer, basically the episode 5 trailer for It. Welcome to Derry, season 1. Man, I love to give some of what I think is the best quotes from the last episode. And I think the thing that stands out to me the most, and if you've been following my trailer breakdowns, I warned you guys that Veronica's daddy was hiding something bigger, and it turns out I was exactly right. The reason why he didn't want to cop to the child killings was because my man stepped out with a white woman. Now just imagine that, ladies and gentlemen, a sign of the times. This man is more afraid of what's going to happen to him for sleeping with a married white woman than he is for the accusations of killing kids. Let that sink in. Put that bit of salt in your Frosted Flakes for today. Please subscribe to this channel. Go check me out now. I have a TikTok for movie and TV reviews. It's called Movie and TV Breakdowns. Check it out there and follow me here as we go through this thing. Let's go shot by shot. And we've got Lily. Somehow or another, she done got into the attic of her friend, the cleaning lady, Ingrid, that was at Juniper Hill. And she's going through this woman's stuff and she's peeling it back. And another thing I said on that last trailer, I think that Ingrid is Peri Winkle, the daughter of Bob Gray. And apparently I was right, because Lily is going through this thing and she's looking, she's seeing the daddy, she's seeing the little girl with the daddy. And then she's seeing Bob Gray dressed up the form that Pennywise took, and you've got the picture of the daughter. All this lines up with the timeline, and then you see the wig of Periwinkle. Then you hear a woman's creepy voice, and Lily turns around. Now, folks, this is what I want to know. Do you all think that Ingrid is going to be a helper to the girls and the people that are being bothered by Pennywise? Or is she already succumbed and is implanted in this gross Pennywise plot? Post your comments down below. Does anybody feel sad for Loony Lily? I just want to know. There's mixed opinions online about Lily, but let me know what you guys think. And then we got this scene that we saw earlier in the trailers for Pennywise in the tunnels where he does most of his dirty work. And remember, I was telling you guys, he's got eyes like Cyclops. And then he appears telling someone to bring me all your friends. No doubt that's Marge, because I do think Marge is going to die. Sorry. What Marge did, her story arc, I think she's going to die. I think she's going to sacrifice herself to make up for the wrongdoing she did. And some would say that her losing that eye would be enough, but no. Pennywise, look at that. Look at my man's head, y'all. Damn. I mean, talk about a George Washington balding, and it looks like he has some razor cut issues trying to cut his hair. Damn, Pennywise, you a ghost, you an entity. Make yourself look better, my brother. You can do better than this. And then we got Loony Lily, and shout out to the actress playing this character to embody this face, that face. Amazing. As young as she is, amazing. She's riding her little bike. No doubt she's just left her friend Ingrid's house and seen all this crazy stuff and is now worried about Juniper Hill. Is Juniper Hill invaded? Because remember, Ingrid is nothing but the cleaning lady. So if the cleaning lady is in bed with a ghost or a evil entity, can you imagine what else is going on in this city? Then we get to Veronica's daddy. They getting ready to move him to Shawshank. You see the bus, right? There's an angry mob. Well, I can't even call that a mob. That's more like a little classroom, angry classroom of people. And then they flash to Rose talking to some of her friends. And basically, she's just kind of warning folks about what's about to happen. And I do believe Rose comes to help kind of temper the people about what's going on. The next thing we see, a racist running up on Veronica's daddy. He whips out a gun, and then we hear a gunshot. And when we hear that gunshot, we see him load the gun, and then we see a cop behind Veronica's daddy smiling, sweating, and then he's got a big smile as if he's happy. No doubt that Pennywise is having a little bit of control in this situation, but I think the overall control here is just that white folks was crazy and hate-filled back then. Well, I guess I can't even say back then with what we're seeing with this Trump administration, they're still hate-filled. But the question here is, as we look at that fine Charlotte, did her daddy, Veronica's daddy, die? And you've got Charlotte kneeling down here, probably upset. I think the look on her face, you can't really tell if the daddy's shot or dead. So the daddy could be shot, but that don't mean he's dead. But the problem is you're in a city that's controlled by Pennywise, influenced by Pennywise. And back in these days, the kind of hatred white folks had toward black people, you didn't need Pennywise to do evil stuff. Just example, this dude pulling a gun. I don't think he's influenced by Pennywise. He's just influenced by his own personal hatred that a black man stuck his big black cock in a white woman. Probably, it might have been his wife for all we know, and he's upset. Post your comments, let me know what you think. And then we got Marge, who looks like she's going to be the new leader of the crew, which is why I think she's going to be sacrificed. How y'all feeling about her looking like Thor in Thor #3? I mean, that eyeball is gone. And now she's rallying the troops, telling them they've got to fight this thing together. And then we see some people going into that house that leads to the sewers where Pennywise is located. And then we see another shot of the military going in there. And then we get the troops rallied, accompanied by Marge, getting into an ice cream truck. And in that ice cream truck, we see the whole crew, and we even see Will's mama, Wakanda Forever, going into battle, about to go take on Pennywise, the It character. And then the next thing we see is the fog, and we see Veronica running with one of those shards. And I think this is real. I don't think that this is the imagination being played with by Pennywise, because you can see some lake water, and you can see Marge is leading the troops again, folks. This is where I think Marge is going to be sacrificed. I think this scene right here is where we're going to see the end of Marge. Post your comments, let me know what you think. And then we got Hollering, talking about the things that have been going on in his head. Now, folks, I told y'all, when you see a black man show a face like this, the world needs to be afraid. You need to be afraid. And nobody listened to me. And now you're seeing why he's afraid. He used his shining powers and started messing around with Pennywise. And now he's having a vision of this lady right here, the young child right here. I think that this is one of the natives that died. As you recall, last episode, he was going through the head of the other natives, seeing like the stories of the origin. And I think this is possibly one of the kids that died. Then we get Rose talking to Shaw, her old boo thing that she saved. She saved this man from Pennywise. Now he's coming back to unleash Pennywise. And she's giving him a stern talking to. Not the kind of letter that Chuck Schumer sent to Trump, but a stern cussing out saying, you cannot control this thing. And Shaw's looking at her like, I'm going to try. And that's the downfall, ladies and gentlemen. People always trying to get a weapon that is evil, a weapon that could do more damage than good, that could destroy the world, like Thanos going to get those gauntlets, want to destroy half the universe. All bad guys try to do this. And I hope she never gave him the panty draws, because I know she's just reeking in her boots if she did. But he's not listening to her. He's going to go on with it because they need a weapon with the war. We see a dead body, and I think this is one of the dead bodies in Holleran's shining abilities. And then I'm convinced that it's not, because now we see Marge holding her face and her eyeballs. So maybe this was one of Marge's friends, because she looked like she just swallowed some poop. And then we get the burning of the juke joint, the boom boom room that they gave to the black guys. Burning the hell up. Now, who you think did this? Doesn't necessarily have to be Pennywise, because remember, we're living in racist times, and this period piece could have been the white guys upset that these black dudes had their own little sanctuary to just have a little bit of peace amongst all this craziness. Then we get Charlotte cussing out her husband. Like, how could you bring us in bed with this monster? And who can blame her? You don't have to be very smart to know if you don't have the right qualifications to take on a weapon, an entity like this, you're not going to win. And like I said, nobody has any Ghostbusters proton packs, and who's to say that that would work against Pennywise anyway? Then we see the military loading up something in a secret box. I do think that that's one of those shards that the natives was using back in the day. You know, they've got all these pillars lined up, about 13 of them, that keeps Pennywise located in their location so that he doesn't leave Derry. I think that they done dug up one, and it looks like they're trying to melt it down as if it's fucking adamantium to make a weapon. And what are the favorite weapon of white guys? Guns. So I would be thinking that they're melting this thing down, probably trying to turn it into bullets, thinking that these bullets are going to actually stop Pennywise. Post your comments and let me know what y'all think. They're not going to be making fucking spears. I can tell you that. It ain't going to be spears. It ain't going to be baseball bats. I think it's going to be bullets. Then we got Leroy cussing out Shaw, saying, "What the fuck have you got us into? It's crazy." And Shaw's looking at him like he's about to fire him, but we know that's not going to happen because he needs him. Then we go back to Hollering holding a gun in somebody's face. And folks, look at that counter. Hollering is in a bad shape. There's cigarettes, there's beer, there's pills. He's holding a gun on someone. The question is, who is he holding a gun on? Is it Pennywise, or is it his grandma in those visions? Or could it be Shaw? Post your comments, let me know what you think. I think personally it's Pennywise, but how often do we see Pennywise in the day? Here and there, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. And then we see Pennywise saying, "I can't wait to taste you." And if you look at his face, folks, he's got blood all around his face, like he's been eating kids for the last month. And then we see Marge running away from him in the fog. Folks, this is when I think Marge is going to kick the bucket. I think that they're done with Marge. She did her best. She sacrificed. She did a redemption arc. And I think she's about to get sacrificed here while everybody gets away. Pennywise is about to feast on her blood like it's some kind of dinner for Dracula. Post your comments. And then we see what looks to be Pennywise blowing up the school, because he locked those kids in the school in this trailer. And then he's coming telling someone to take his hands. Next thing we know, we see Hollering, and we know Hollering does have that shining ability, so maybe Pennywise wants to team up with him. And I do think Pennywise is teamed up with Kirsch, and maybe they're going to form some kind of little new Thanos order in the Pennywise universe. Let me know what you think. And then we end on the crazy as hell look of Pennywise. Adam Skarsgård playing Pennywise looks crazy, and they're doing a great job on this series. So folks, that's going to do it for my review. Please let me know everything you think, what you think I missed, what you think, what else is going to happen. And don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe to this channel, and please follow me on my new movies and TV breakdowns on TikTok. Till that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm out.